Welcome your host, Caddy Frink, as she leads discussions about substance use disorder and the journey to recovery. You're listening to Redefining Recovery, a recovery revolution.
I just have to wait until that tune just kind of does that riff right over the edge there. Just like listen to that tunage.
And then you know it's time.
Then I know it's time to say hello to the people.
Hello, people.
Hello, people. Sarah Kemp is with me. Sarah Kemp like the
ice cream.
There you go. Welcome to Redefining Recovery, a recovery revolution here on AM 950, the progressive radio station. Love it. I am so delighted to be here. We are going to have an interesting conversation today, aren't we, Sarah?
Yes, we are.
Uh-huh.
It's going to be all about Caddy.
Oh, my gosh. But I would like to say special thanks to our generous funders, including the Patrick and Amy Butler Foundation, the Otto Bremer Trust, the Sauer Family Foundation, the Hardenborough Foundation, alongside other many foundations as well as corporate and individuals organizations. I would be delighted if anybody has any extra dollars and cents to feel free to send it to Minnesota Recovery Connection. We do amazing work.
Yes, we do.
We support the community. We support the people that support the community as well, right? Mm-hmm. So it all goes hand in hand on good missions, and we welcome all to our organization. So thank you for what you can or cannot do. But if you could also volunteer, right, Sarah?
Yes, you can.
Because you oversee the volunteers.
I do, and we always need new volunteers.
Yes.
Can never have too many.
No, and they help. It fulfills the community as well an awful lot. Yeah.
Kind of like the last show you and I did together.
Yeah. So here we are.
Yes.
What's right with you today, Sarah?
I think just making it through the week.
Okay.
Honestly. I've been kind of sick this week, so if you hear coughing, that's why. But just getting through the week.
Okay.
How about you, Miss Caddy? What's right with you today?
What's right with me today? Well, I had a day off this week, and that was like super great. The weather's been quite lovely.
Yes.
I know. So I was able to just get a lot of tasks done.
Good.
And I got to do some creative stuff, which always helps me. Or I got some creative juices flowing. So I just know that part of my recovery is about being creative. And then guess what I did last night?
What?
I raked a little in my garden.
Wow.
I know.
Aren't you? Don't tempt the fates, though.
I couldn't help myself.
Okay.
I couldn't help myself.
If we get snow, I know who to blame.
Yeah, you can blame me. Yes. It was very funny. Our neighbors across the street came walking by, and he's overcoming some health issues, but it was good to see him out, he and his wife walking. And I said, yeah, I just couldn't hold myself back. And he looks at me and he goes, you're always the first one on the block to get going.
Oh, are you?
I kind of am. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I'm a little bit of a wild woman in that regard. So our conversation today is going to twist a little bit on focusing on the cadster.
About time.
About time, yeah. So I've had the absolute honor of listening to a lot of people and talking to a lot of people. And what happened is that I met with Jennifer Ogren, who is the salesperson. I don't know exactly her position here, but she helps people come onto this radio station and do their magical work. And she said to me one day when we were out, I don't know what we were doing, but she says, hey, Caddy, there's a manila envelope here or file folder with your name on it. And it's from a long time ago, and you were telling us about maybe wanting to do a radio show. And folks, we're talking about 2009 and 2010.
Wow.
I know. That's a long friggin' time ago. If I think about where I am and what's happened and the dream that never transpired. But I've said so many times how incredibly honored I am to have this opportunity. But I read through that letter and oh my gosh. And you read through that letter too.
I did.
What did you pick up from it?
That you had a dream, that you wanted to spread the word about recovery. You wanted to help educate the community about recovery and just spread the word.
Spread the word.
Yeah. That sounded real.
It sounded a little religious.
Sorry.
Not spreading the word, but maybe not the good word, but we're spreading the word of recovery. A word.
A word of recovery.
There we go. Well, I think, when you say that, it makes me kind of think about that letter because it's, It just really like floored me to have seen it. And wanting to have a conversation about the really tricky conversation of people who are struggling with substance use disorder. And sometimes it's called substance abuse, and sometimes it's called a lot of different things.
There's a lot of names for it.
Yeah. And so even back then, I had a dream of wanting to do this. And it was because of some influences in the community with some other radio stations in town. And My Talk was one of them. It's I think 107. I can't remember what it is. But there were some really amazing women on that program that really just sort of talked about talking about stuff.
Oh, sure.
You know, we can have a topic, or we can have a message in a radio station or in a radio show. But it was really about having open discussion about a really tough conversation. And so that's really where the dream came on. So
Well, now you're just skipping ahead of my...
No. You haven't asked me any questions yet.
No.
So I also want to let people know that we are beginning to embark upon our Walk for Recovery conversation.
We are.
So for those of you who know about the Walk for Recovery at Minnesota Recovery Connection and our recovery community, it is September 13th and at the State Fair. No, not State Fair.
Capitol.
State Capitol grounds. I always say
She
that.
does this every year. State Fairgrounds. No.
State Capitol Fairgrounds from 10 until 3. We're always looking for people to participate. We're looking for sponsors.
We are.
Always.
Yes.
We just came up with our T-shirt logo. We're pretty darn sure. So we always want to just let people know to start preparing for September. I know that feels like a long way away, and it is. We have to get through summer first. But believe it or not, we all got to start doing this now.
And getting on your calendars now so you don't forget.
Yeah, gosh forbid you forget.
Exactly. We'll be here to remind you all the time.
Yes. Long many times.
Yes.
So, Sarah, why don't you ask me one question on your list? So this all, as I said, has to do with sort of this reflection back on Caddy back in the day.
I would say, when did you start having the dream that you want to have a radio show? Like, what about having a radio show was a dream of yours?
So it kind of tipped into that. But when many years ago, there used to be a radio show on, I can't remember what station it was. It used to be called it was a 12-step meeting, I can't remember what the name of it was. But at the time, I was very much into, just being part of the 12-step program, which is a very beautiful program, saved my life. But I would listen to it, and I would hear people who were talking like me. That struggled with substance use disorder, and it was like having a real conversation about being part of a community.
Yeah.
And so I would listen to that, and I'm like, wow, that's so cool. And then actually I started working for myself, so I would put on these little headphone buds, and I'd listen to My Talk radio station a lot. And I started listening to people, women and men, but predominantly women, talk about real topics. And I just thought, nobody's talking about recovery. They're talking about addiction. They're talking about problems, but they're not talking about what recovery looks like.
And the good side of it.
Right. So I just thought, I think there's an opportunity here. And so it was really, and it was continuing to listen to talk radio. Okay, so the other part of it is my little grandma. She was a talk radio fanatic. She always listened to Minnesota Public Radio and National Public Radio, as I've tried to get you to do.
Yes, it has not worked.
No, not at all. But so I was always around talk radio, and so it seemed not uncomfortable. I mean, I listened.
Right.
I listened.
It seemed natural to you.
Yeah, really natural, and always getting good information. Always wanting to be thorough, and I think that's one of the things that I wanted to bring into a conversation. That is, we can talk about a topic, but what I try to do is I try to break it down a little bit for. As I point, you see me do all the time. I'm in class. I'm like, the people out there get it, because we in our own language and we in our own conversation.
We have our own dialogue, really.
Yeah.
And so now, for the fact that you get to do this on a weekly basis and talk about. It's
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah, no, it just, and I know there's a lot of people that listen, and I'm so grateful for every human person that person that listens, because I don't want it to be a scary thing. I want it to be something that people can talk about. So we're going to come back from break, and Sarah's got a list of questions to ask me. So see you back here at AM 950, Redefining Recovery, a recovery revolution. Join us. Listen to that happy springy music.
It's perfect for today's weather.
Yeah, it's like it's warm, it's exciting.
It reminds me of a beach. Every time I hear it, it makes me think of a beach.
Yeah, it's just like it's happy. It's happy, just like we want to be all the time.
Exactly. Well, not all the time, but yes.
We want to be happy most of the time.
Yes.
Welcome back to Redefining Recovery, Recovery Revolution. Here with Sarah.
Camp like the ice cream.
There you go.
It makes her so happy every time I say it.
I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. So again, we're dipping into maybe a little bit of Caddy's past. So what's the next question on your list, Sarah?
Tell us about you. Tell us your past, what you feel comfortable sharing about your story.
Kind of getting into the weeds on this one.
We are, because I didn't know if you've talked about yourself like this on the show before.
I don't know that I really have in a long time. You know, one of the things that in that letter that I wrote, I kind of wrote down a little bit of who I was as a young person.
Yeah, I saw that, and then I was like,
that was good.
Wow.
Can you tell we work together, folks? Said that before. You know, it was interesting when I read that because I come from a home that was complicated. My parents divorced when I was age 13. And I ended up being pretty much the adult of the two adults. My mom particularly, my father moved very close by, but he was rather distant. He always had another lady involved in his life. So he was distracted and then distracted. Now, he did tell me at some point when he was in the contemplation, they were in the contemplation of divorcing, that he wanted me in custody. And that blew my mind because I had no idea.
Yeah.
And I thought, wow, that could have looked very different. But it didn't.
Yeah.
So my mom struggled with mental health issues. She struggled with addiction. She was also one of the most intelligent women I've ever known in my entire life. But when you struggle with mental health issues, she had anxiety disorder. And so from a pretty early age, I had to really kind of manage things. I moved out when I was 22, so I was kind of old in moving out.
Oh, okay.
And finally she said, it's time for you to get out of the house.
Oh, okay. Got it.
Which was okay. So I kind of got my stuff together.
Well, there you go.
Yeah. So moved out, and I didn't really drink much prior. Well, no, that's a total lie. I
read that letter thingy.
I know. I'll back the bus up there, Caddy. So I didn't drink much like early on. I wasn't a 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. I think I had my first drink when I was 16. Because 13, 14, 15, I was still figuring out school.
Yep.
I'm trying to figure out what's going on in my own house with my mom. I called my mom having hermatitis because there really was no definition for anxiety disorder and needing somebody just couldn't go out into the big world.
Oh, and I'm guessing that back then, I don't know the years, but maybe talking about anxiety and mental health was not as common.
It wasn't as comfortable, no. And my mom couldn't get diagnosed very well. And that's the interesting thing, since all of this training that we've done with, mental health and co-occurring in addiction, it's really educated me time after time. And so my mom was right on the cusp. She died in 1990, that her anxiety disorder was just about kind of being figured out, and there were medications, but she checked out, and I mean that with love, Mom. Checked out before that because she had actually too much pain. She couldn't continue on in this life. So, but I think my first drink when I was 16.
Okay.
And I binge drank from the first moment.
Wow.
Like,
you were off to the races
out of the gate
right away.
I was out of the gate hot. Because I remember the part. I remember it all. Believe it or not, I remember that first one, and I remember I was still living with my mom, and I came downstairs after the party, whatever. They poured me out of the car. I stumbled into the house and fell asleep, woke up the next day. And my mom was like, so how you doing? I'm like, oh, my head hurts. She's like,
She knew.
She knew exactly what was going on. But then I really didn't do much drinking because I couldn't. That was sort of like an exception to the rule.
Oh, okay.
So I really didn't do much drinking until truly I turned, yes, the drinking age was 19 back in the 1800s.
I wasn't going to say anything.
But once I could, I did.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So, there wasn't, if I think about it, there wasn't much, but so at 19, there was a whole lot of fun going on. But I was working all the time. I worked full time. I graduated from high school and I got a job at a department store long time far ago in the history of retail, like so much of my life. But I was working right out of the gate. But then every night I go with the guys and we'd go to the bars.
So you would be a functioning alcoholic.
Exactly. Yeah, I was a functioning alcoholic. I don't know how well I functioned sometimes.
At least to you it seemed functioning because you worked.
I worked.
You were
I
able
went-
to kind of hold it together in that aspect?
Actually, I held it together pretty well. I could tolerate alcohol pretty well, but at the same time, I blacked out.
Yes, I remember you
Most of
telling
the
me
time.
that.
I was a blackout drunk all the time.
That's not good.
No, it's not. But it's so interesting because I would still function for an entire night, but I just wouldn't remember.
Wow. That's
Yeah.
kind of scary.
Totally scary. And I have stories after the fact of things that, so I kind of rolled on that for a really long time. I would just work and I'd go and hang out and I'd party, go to First Avenue, I'd go to the saloon, I'd go to the 90s, I'd go to any other bar that was available.
Sure, yeah.
Just hang out with all the friends and do it, having a great time. And it looked normal then,
Oh, okay.
except for
Sure.
the fact that I black out a lot.
Yeah.
But that was kind of my secret, not everybody else's.
Yeah.
So, I did that for years and years. Now, I know family members, I know friends struggled with my drinking. I know this in hindsight and I know this in reality. And so, I didn't have a car for years, so I wasn't driving drunk. And then when I got a car, I did that all the time.
Yeah.
I say it with a bit of levity, but I don't mean it lightly. I haven't done it for 20 some years, folks. So don't worry about it. And I know I am so lucky. I know.
Yeah.
And I did not hurt anybody that I'm aware of. I
feel like you would have been made aware. If you did.
very fast. Yeah. I put myself in jeopardy and society in jeopardy for years. I know I did. But it took a couple of DWIs in my 30s
Yeah.
to have that reality come around. And that was when did the journey start? Did it start? I guess using the words of the recovery world, it was my pre-contemplative stage.
Okay. That makes sense because you got something that's going to motivate you maybe.
Maybe.
So you're thinking about it, but you don't really know if you want to.
Right,
Because
exactly.
you're having fun, but you don't want to go to jail.
So what do you do?
Yeah.
You try to figure out what to do next.
Yep.
So I just kind of kept on rolling, had several different workplaces that I did retail and just sort of moved from place to place based on opportunities that showed up. Never got fired from a job, I will honestly say. Now, did I quit a job on occasion?
Probably.
Not actually not even because of alcohol. I quit a couple of jobs because somebody just gave me the wrong information.
Oh.
But I was able to sustain for a really long time. But then towards the end of my drinking, which was 39 years old, I was in a bad place.
Yeah.
I was in a bad place. The second DWI hit, and that's when I had to say,
Time to be done.
time to be done. And the law said be done.
Yeah.
And I found out in that movement that it's weird to say, I'm a pretty law-abiding person, except for the fact that I wasn't very law-abiding for a long time.
Yeah.
But
None of us, not none of us. A lot of us aren't when we're in active use.
Right. Yeah. It's logic goes out
Yeah.
and the addiction,
Yeah.
which changes our brain chemistry. Talked about that quite a bit on the show. My chemistry was changed. So if I had something to drink, a different switch came on. And when that switch goes on,
There's not the logical side may not be in the forefront.
No, it's lost somewhere in the addictive mind
Yep.
in that. satisfaction or that dopamine hit or that serotonin hit. And so then my recovery came along, and I had to go to AA because I had to get my little blue card signed.
yes.
I mean, I went to jail. They took my car. I didn't go to jail. I went to the workhouse. They took my car forever. I had the leg monitor. I had
The leg monitor?
Yeah, I had the thing.
Ankle monitor?
Ankle monitor for.
Wow.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh
You're
yeah.
a BA.
What's a BA?
Badass. Can I say that?
Well, you just did. So, and you
Okay.
got
Got the thumbs up.
so I guess I'm a BA. Yeah, I mean, I had every consequence come down on me. I mean, lawyer fees and car taken forever. Like,
Yeah.
I didn't ever get it back. Goodbye.
Wow.
$16,000. Bye-bye. Yeah, took the car forever. Took the
Wow.
license. Had the leg monitor. Had the workhouse. I mean, I got the when they said you're messed up, or any one of those that I just about didn't say or say, I got it, which was. If I look back in the time machine, I'm grateful because the consequences were so great that I had to do something different.
Yes.
And so then my recovery journey came.
Yes.
So what's the next question,
So
Sarah?
how did you find your long-term recovery?
Oh, Lord.
Because you've been in recovery for 100 years. Okay, to me, what is 100 years? As someone that's been only in recovery for, not only.
No, only.
For 5 years. And then I hear your number. I'm like, that's 1,000,000 years.
Yeah, no, it sounds like I remember when a guy that, his name was, what's his name? It'll come to me. This gentleman, I wasn't even in recovery yet. I was, jeez, Louise. A gentleman took me out for coffee, and he said he had 19 years in recovery, and now he would be at somewhere in 40 now in recovery.
Gosh. No. That's
And
crazy.
I looked at him just like you're looking at me. Like, are you really? What? How do you even quantify that?
Yes. That's what I think every time I hear your number. I'm like, what?
Well, Wendy's even more. Wendy Jones.
What?
I know. She's like 26 or 27. I know.
I can't even fathom that.
But remember how old we are.
I know, but I still I can't compute that.
I know. And it's sometimes it's hard for me, and then I realize that you asked me about my journey and how I did it. And I did it in the beginning from being part of a very important group of people. It happened to be an AA, but it's not so much about the mode, but it's about the humans. And I realized I had such an incredible group of people that absolutely believed in me, and they made me believe in me.
Okay. That makes a huge difference.
They saw me as a value. They saw me as somebody who wasn't just broken and damaged and had a tough childhood and had neglect. And I can't say I had abuse, but I had neglect as a young person. And I say that with caution because I don't think it was intentional. I think it was sometimes parents don't know what they don't know.
Well, and especially if your mom was having her own things.
She was
doing the best she can with what she knew and how,
Yeah. So all those people, I'll toss it out there, Temple Israel AA meeting, they are the best. And those people still live in my heart. I might not see them. There's one person I try to see often, but I haven't seen in a while. But those people still live inside me. So when you ask me about what is it, when people believe in you, then you begin to believe in yourself. And I think that's why the work that we do fits with me so well, because I believe in every person that comes in front of us.
Yep.
And if I can believe in them, then maybe they can believe in themselves.
See, when you were talking about that, I totally was thinking about what we do at Minnesota Recovery Connection and the recovery coaching and how our recovery coaches believe in the person they're working with, and then bam.
Yeah, I mean, it all for me, literally at this stage of my life, I've had a full circle from being in pain, being able to let go of some of that pain, and now being able to rebuild and regenerate a new life.
Yeah.
And so then, as you know, my little grandma, Sylvia Duxted Quee, best little lady in the world, didn't understand addiction to save her soul. But what she saw was her granddaughter completely transform. Since my mom died 33 years ago, her only daughter, it was she and I.
Yeah.
And so her belief in me also just absolutely changed who I became, because I became her person and she was my person.
Right. It makes a huge difference.
So when you've got somebody who's got your back,
Yep.
And then also on my second she helped me pay for my first DWI. My second one, she said, "You're
Nope.
on your own." And I was like,
Figure it out.
dang, that credit card's going to get hit hard.
But it also probably showed you that you got to figure it out.
Yep. Yeah.
Because if you don't.
And she didn't understand everything that was going on, but she did, but she didn't understand what she was doing, but what she did was the right thing. I had to, like you said, Sarah, I had to figure it out myself. And so having those people believe in me, having really good friends, I hurt a lot of friends and I challenged friendships, but most of them hung with me.
Good.
Yeah.
I mean, you're lucky.
I think I am, but I think I can say this with clarity, and that is I still invest in other people, even though their investment to me was challenged a lot. I still believe in the people and the friends that I have. And I think with that, it's been able to sustain me. It's been able to they're able to take away the pain and see the new Caddy.
Oh, that has to be so beautiful for somebody.
It is. Because I mean, I challenge friendships really hard.
I did too.
Oh, God.
I did too.
Ooh, geez. The fact that they still love me sometimes.
Me too.
Uh-huh. Yeah. 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 A couple of women just kind of go, oh, yeah. Because we know the impact we have on other people in hindsight.
Yes.
In the moment.
No, not at all.
Nothing.
You couldn't tell me any differently.
No.
But one thing that just popped into my brain is one of the things that we do believe at Minnesota Recovery Connection is all pathways to recovery. Mm-hmm. And so, Caddy, I was wondering if you'd want to talk about what are some of your pathways to your recovery.
Thank you. Thank you. Such a good question.
I know.
Sarah. So it started out in an AA because I didn't know anything else. I didn't even know I was an alcoholic. I knew I had a drinking problem, but I couldn't label myself in the beginning.
Well, and probably whatever 20 some odd years ago, AA was the thing.
The only thing, yeah.
Or NA.
Or treatment.
Yeah.
NA still, even back then, was still kind of a new concept, believe it or not.
Oh, was it? Oh.
Kind of, sort of, yeah.
Oh, so AA was the thing.
The thing. I had to, because the courts told me I had to.
Well, yeah, that too. But there probably wasn't as much conversation.
There was no other conversation. I will honestly say there was no other conversation. So I've said many times on this incredible opportunity of a program, is that when I got to Minnesota Recovery Connection, taking the peer recovery specialist class way back in the day in 2016, I was like, oh, I don't have to do it a particular way. So I've said it time and time again. I'm pretty creative. I really like creativity. So when you ask me my pathways, whenever I can be creative, I'm really at my best.
Diamond dotting is one of her favorite things.
It is, as well as a multitude of other things. But yes, but when I can be creative, I can color, I can diamond dot, I can garden. We all know that's my jam.
It is.
Already raked. So that just says
she got ahead.
Got ahead of the game. Had to just make sure that the grass grew in certain areas because there were too many leaves on them. So I had to let the grass air. So, but my relationships with friends, building those up, doing the best that I can with those, because sometimes it's hard. Sometimes we get lost in our work, or we get lost in just needing to rest.
Yes.
And so sometimes those can be challenged. My father was alive for a long time, so I'd invest a lot of time with him. I invested a lot of time with my grandmother, but I'm truly codependent. I mean, there's no doubt about it. And so in that care, I got love and satisfaction as well. Got some weird answers on occasion to stuff, but so those are kind of my methods.
And your kitties.
Oh, well, of course, my kitties and my
know,
guy.
But I just had to say it.
Yes, my
so
cats.
they knew that they were loved.
Yes, well,
and talked about on the radio.
And actually, if I think about it,
and your boyfriend.
And my boyfriend, yes, Mr. Eric. I think what's also interesting when you say cats, I have had in my recovery lifetime, I've had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cats over the 20-some years.
Wow.
One lived for 21 years, so he was not there in the beginning.
No.
Well, he was there in the beginning, but I was not in the beginning. But yeah, it's, wow, cat history as well.
I mean,
for all you dog lovers out there, just know people in recovery.
We love dogs too.
Oh, we think they're all fabulous.
Yes. We just happen to be cat ladies.
Yes, cat ladies. Yes. What else you got on your list there, friend?
Okay. So since starting Redefining Recovery, a recovery revolution, what has it given you? What?
Oh, y'all, I just love you out there in Radio Land. I love Brett behind the other side of the glass. I love Patrick on the other side of the glass. What it's given me is, oh man, I could almost start to cry.
There's no tissues in here. So.
No, I know Brett took them out. What it's given me, Sarah, it's given me a voice that I've always wanted to have, because I truly believe that people heal when they hear things that are either new or validate them even on their worst day and their worst action. Or
just having someone that understands what they could be going through.
They hear what's going on in their head. That we giggle because we dissed friends back in the day. How many people will listen to this show and go, oh my gosh.
I've done that a time or two.
Yeah. And
we're relatable.
Yes. I don't want to use the word normalize the behavior of substance use disorder, but I want to give it that fact that it happens and we can recover. It may take a while, but I've been able to just literally live out a dream. Years ago, when those papers were written that you read, somebody gave me some ill-begotten advice. And
rude.
Rude, she says. And it kind of shut me down.
Yeah.
And so now but in that time frame, in all these years, the conversation about addiction has completely changed.
Yeah.
So
I mean, we have our own recovery language now for
goodness
sakes.
We literally have our own language. Yeah. And so when I say that the world of addiction has changed, so has the world of recovery. And so being able to talk about it openly, being able to say that it's okay to not be okay, it's okay to have a reuse and have to start another time, not start over, just start again.
Yep.
To be able to say that families hurt, families have a hard time understanding our addiction, and that's okay.
Yep.
You know, not making everybody say that they should get better and they have to get better. And we just want people to heal in the way that they find most possible in terms of that pathways of recovery.
And you get to educate those that may not understand addiction, recovery, substance use disorder. Like, you get to educate in your way.
Yeah. Yeah, I get to educate with my voice, with my lived experience, and then I bring other people that have their voice and their lived experience. Because the more times we hear a new voice and a new conversation, that's where we can sometimes pick up some sort of, I use a small secret sauce. You get to pick up a little secret, like maybe it's your own medicine for your own self, or it's a some sort of opportunity for people to go, oh, wait, I've heard somebody say that. You mean somebody else says that? And, oh, I hurt exactly that way.
Or I'm not the only one that's going through this.
I'm not the only one. Because, man, I lived in that place for so long. Did you?
I don't remember. I don't know. I don't remember.
Yeah, I think it may be because of my age. I felt so alone. Yeah. Because I didn't know anybody that had my problem. And I think that's where when you say I've got 20 some years in recovery, I felt so locked away because I didn't have any place to have a voice.
And I probably did, now that I'm thinking about it, I probably did, especially when I was in my apartment, because no one knew.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I thought no one knew, right? But just
in our mind, we felt we were like the only ones, and we kept the secret so well.
Yeah, and so I remember that feeling.
Yeah, and I think that's what probably held me up for a long time. Is I would go out and drink, and I'd go out and party, and there was an element of normalcy with it.
Well, and especially with alcohol, I feel like alcohol's everywhere.
Yeah, well, it is,
and probably even back then, it's a part of every sporting thing. Any like trivia nights.
Back then, thanks a lot.
I mean, that one time in the 19-somethings.
The 19-somethings. Wow.
I don't want to put a year on
Caddy
it.
Under.
I think I did this the last time I was on the show, too. She might stop inviting me back.
No, I'll always have you back. So the dream of having the show is because I want to give voice to recovery, and I want people to know that if they are not in recovery, it's okay. But we'd like you to have more peace within yourself, peace within your soul, peace with your families, peace with your community. But it ain't easy.
No.
It's hard.
And you gotta be ready for it too. And so if you are struggling, just know that we're here. We'll talk not at you, but
well, we're kind of talking at them, but you're part of the conversation.
But you have our support.
Yeah. And I think that's ultimately what I've always wanted to do, is I've always wanted to have somebody talk the way we talk, which is kind of real language, and give a voice. So we're going to take our next break. Thank you for listening to Redefining Recovery, a Recovery Revolution here on AM 950. I'll see you in a bit.
I think you should just sing over the songs. You could do your own intro song.
No, that's okay.
You could sing it.
No, that is not going to happen anytime soon. I do have a voice for radio, but I do not have a singing voice for radio. At least that's what I've been told. So that goes to show, hi, this is Caddy from Minnesota Recovery Connection, Redefining Recovery, Recovery Revolution, back here with Sarah.
Kemp like the ice cream.
There you go. Kind of talking a little bit about me.
We are. It's all about Caddy today because why not?
What?
Why not? And I think it's important for the listeners to know who they're listening to.
Yeah, why the heck am I sitting in this chair in front of
Because
this
she can bring in all the people she wants, but let's get to know her.
Oh, geez Louise.
So one of my other questions is, how have you sustained your 20-some-odd year? Because I don't know the real number, because we keep going back and forth.
I think it's 23 or 24, somewhere in there. So it's 2025, and I got in recovery. I got sober, because that's the interesting thing. We talk about how do we define our recovery. And for many years, I was sober. And even that letter, when I wrote that letter back in 2009 and 10, the recovery language was so not there. It was crazy town. I should read it at some point to the listening audience. And it just, every time I read something, I was like, that's not the way I talk anymore.
I know. Isn't it crazy?
So interesting. But, it's interesting. In the beginning, it was, doing the AA and doing that and being with people and being around people that were in recovery. And I think really probably one of the pinnacle moments is I finally got to therapy.
Therapy can be a great thing.
Yeah. And I would highly recommend it for anybody. I had an incredible therapist for years. Her name was Debbie Krovitz. She is now... she's done her retirement to spend time with her family, and I honor her and I miss her all at the same time. But yeah, I think that was one of the key things, because I was really able to talk about the stuff that you don't talk about with even your partners sometimes. You don't talk about some of that stuff that's at a level that it's not that they don't need to know. It's that it's not the right audience.
You want someone that has some education,
some objectivity.
Yep.
Because sometimes I'll talk to my partner, Eric, and I'll say, something about a thing or a happening, and they're like, well, you were right. They were wrong. And I'm like, let me look at that objectively.
It's not always you're right, that other person's wrong. Sometimes we're wrong too.
Absolutely.
It can happen.
Yeah, it's rare.
I know, it is rare.
But to that point, the idea of sustaining it is about truly looking in the mirror. Truly looking in the mirror and having both apologies and understanding, and having really good conversations with friends. A very good friend of mine, Kay, right now, we have conversations because we've known one another since high school. Good gosh, that's like a million years ago. But
so you can say it, but I can't.
Yeah, I can say it. It's my life. But when you have a conversation with somebody who's known you for a long time, the relationship, and you have experienced this, I'm sure, and anybody out there in listening audience, whether you've known somebody 2 years or 5 years, but man, when you get into the 10s and the 20s and the 30s, the 40s, there's a new way of communicating if you continue to evolve. And I think that's what I've been able to do, is evolve as a human to sustain my recovery.
And I think that's the important part of sustaining recovery, is always doing that check with yourself, where you're at, do you need any help with anything? Do I need to go back to therapy? Do I, just that always checking on yourself.
Yeah. Continuing to grow.
That too.
Yeah. Because I think, if you stop growing, you stop learning, you can become very stagnant.
And then you get complacent, and then possibly things can go bad.
Right. And we know complacency can bring on reuse because what happens is you just think, this is it.
Yeah.
And now that can happen in a week's work too. Sometimes you go home for the 4th time of the week and you're like, is this all I've got to look forward to? And then I realize, no, the weather's going to change. No, I've got food in the fridge. I've got friends. Pick up the phone, pick up your text, do something and reconnect. Because
there's always something. I feel like one of the things, it's so easy to focus on what's going wrong. And if at least once a day you can even list or write out or whatever that looks like, something you're grateful for, like you're having food in your fridge. That might not seem like a big deal in the moment, but just that little reminder that it's okay.
Because I remember a time, if you talk about, this is all about Caddy, I remember a time in my life when my mom was struggling a lot. There was food, but was there always
food
exactly enough? And I was never went hungry, but I didn't have any extra. We were on welfare. We were using the systems. When you've got somebody who's completely disabled,
you were utilizing the system, not using the system.
No, thank you. Utilizing the system that was available. And I think, maybe that's another thing to say real quick. And that is, and there are a lot of people who are like Rachel had a show a week ago, or is going to have a show, and she talked about, having a son and having to use the systems that are available to help people. I realized that my mom's mental illness was something that absolutely qualified us for utilizing the services that were available. And if anybody ever questions when people are using the services that are available, sure, there are people that are doing it poorly, but I'll bet you more people are using it because they have to.
Yep. And why not? I mean, if you need to.
Yeah. But that was a time in my life where that was in a whole different time when services were being rendered. I didn't understand it, but I knew that's how we stayed alive.
Yeah.
And some family support from my grandparents, from my mom, because we didn't. Yeah, I mean, you're making me go back in the time machine here.
I am a little bit, only because you made me do it.
I know.
One time.
I know.
Your turn.
Yeah. No, it's interesting when we think about how I think about personally, and many people, but how much I've overcome. Got myself into a heap of trouble. And I did a lot of things I probably don't look back on and go, wow, that was fun. But I'm actually coming to that point. If I think about it, I started drinking when I was, let's call it 18, 28, 38. I'm coming to the tip over point.
To what?
Where I am in recovery longer than I drank.
Ooh.
I'm coming to the tipping point.
I feel like you need a cake.
Okay, I'm not there yet, I don't think. I got to sit down and do some real math. But this is an interesting, man, y'all, I just thought about that.
I feel like her mind was just blown.
I just blew my own mind. There you are. You heard it happen here, folks. But I mean, it's interesting because that is like a tipping point in how you move. Wow. I'm almost speechless.
Wow.
That so doesn't happen to me.
It doesn't.
I just had a big aha moment. So enough about that. But that's just really cool that I just figured that out right now. So this whole conversation, it had a lot to do about me, but it has to do about the dream that came true.
And I think it's important to figure out what your dreams are. And even if they seem far-fetched, try anyway, because you never know what can be possible.
And if a dream seems so far away, what are the steps that you can take? And that's what happened to me in 2009 and 10. I wrote a letter and I sent it off someplace, and then the future sort of moved forward. It took quite a long time, but I had to evolve too.
Yeah.
I mean, I had to evolve. I had to find my recovery. And then lo and behold, the place that I worked got an opportunity. A grant came through where we could do something new for the recovery community, and bing, bang, boom, here I am. And here you are, Sarah.
And I think, too, it's important to be patient, too, with your dreams. Because
Yeah.
sometimes, I know for me, sometimes I want something when I want it because, that's what,
You want.
yeah. But being patient can give you an even bigger reward.
Yeah, very much. So hopefully this conversation was somewhat interesting to somebody somewhere.
I mean, I almost swore on the radio. So, I mean,
So I want to thank everybody for indulging Sarah and I and me having truly an on-radio epiphany about myself and just about the journey of recovery, because recovery is a real thing. People can do it. It's not easy. Have patience with yourself. Have patience with your people. Be kind to one another.
and love each other.
Love each other. Thank you for listening. You're amazing humans wherever you are, whoever you are. Have a great, marvelous day. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.